application and it takes them 10 years instead of whatever, 18 months to get it done. You know, how long do you really want to allow them to continue to?
So you're saying you wanna make this longer,
Well,
or leave it?
no, I'm
Or
asking.
words that construction should be completed at a certain date after the.
Or there's more fees.
Or there's
Or
more
time.
permits.
I mean, it's open thing, but it's like you're not done within the time frame. It's no different than what's going on at the lagoon, I think.
Right, you would need a renewal.
They're getting charged $1,000 a day because they're over the timeline.
So is there, on the continual use permit, we're gonna have to just, maybe we should look at one, but is there anything on there about timeline?
Conditional use permits, not that I can find. No, on the application itself, it does not state that there is any ending date on how good this is for.
Now, this obviously, they've already completed their CUP, but
They're talking
maybe that's
about
something that we need to include when you,
Well, they completed a cut for the 1.5 mile in Billity Township that they did. Now he's talking about possibly coming earlier to get another application for the rest of it in the southern portion of town.
which is slated to take years
Mhm.
until it's completed, and I'd be surprised if it's, what's it supposed to be, 7, 8, 9 years?
I'd be surprised if I ever got finished.
Because they're piecemealing it all throughout the entire length of that thing, they're doing some here, they're doing,
That's so you can't stop.
they,
You know,
Well, maybe we should add language to the use permit to the effect of
or
that. Because
you could
it-
take out, unless the use is commenced construction is underway or the current owner possesses a valid building permit, you could say it is valid, it is null and void within 12 months of the date that, it is null and void at 12 months of the date of the zoning commission action. Or you could change 12 to 18, whatever you wanna do, but I mean,
Yeah, but
and 12 becomes pretty restrictive for construction, because sometimes you do have some nasty weather or a string of things, and you just can't get a lot
if
done.
you wanna, if you issued a conditional use permit for a really big project, it would take longer than 12 months to complete.
Right.
right,
So you shouldn't, if it's one project and they start on it and can't get it finished, they shouldn't have to come back for another conditional use permit.
Just come for a extension on this
Well-
permit. Or what?
However, on this pipeline, if it's done in sections, that's kind of a different animal, you know?
Because they're applying for a permit for every piece of it.
Right, that's
right,
different.
So,
you know,
and everything is different. How long it takes to build something like that as opposed to how long it takes to construct something above ground and things of that nature are not necessarily the same thing. So I don't think this is a one-size-fits-all.
This is a goofy example, but let's use the house being built in Harvey. Conditional use permit. You got a permit to build that. That's going on 2 years now and they're not close to done. Well, should they have to get another one? Or, I don't know.
well, and the thing is conditional use permits are required for specific things.
Right.
Whereas
Building.
buildings or anything like that with agricultural buildings, for instance, whatever, you can get a building permit through an office in 10 minutes kind of thing. But these are,
Well, when I'm reading this, they should have to come back if they're altering their plan. Because it isn't what they presented to us.
Oh, okay.
Okay, however, then if they have the valid permit, or if they start, you know, that type of thing, it looks like it might be okay.
I was thinking the same thing as I'm reading through, that this is only if there's alteration. To me, if there's no alteration, they're doing the same project that they came in to ask for, there's changing it.
If all of a sudden they wanna be on the other side of the road, then yeah, you gotta come back.
Oh, yeah.
The biggest thing
Oh.
I'm gonna, having visited a specific township in the southern portion of town, they are, and I'm talking only strictly this because I know it's coming, but they're worried in the fact that roads get destroyed pretty quickly from that project. And, you know, when it does come, they'll be here to say, hey, you know, here's my issues with this, and one of them is having access to getting in and out of that township, because they are completely blocked off by that project. And so, how long are you going to make them wait to have a completed project so that they can have access to all the roads again? I mean, those are things that are asked of me, I'm just bringing them to you so you're aware.
So they literally cut a road and no end is in sight as far as they're concerned, is that the complaint?
Well, they're more worried about being able to access the highway, like they are 10 miles south of Highway 200. So it's not going through their township, but the access will be cut off because it seems like they are going to be using, it sounded like they're gonna, the project is going to use every road in the township, going north and south, yeah.
Well, I can't imagine they're gonna cut something if they're not wooden pipe in there right now. Why
You
would
wouldn't
why
think
would they
that.
do that?
But I think it had something to do with all the falls.
Leave by carrying.
All the whole roads.
They shut them off.
Yeah, but cutting something and making it passable again is a whole, you gentlemen need to get down there and drive around a little bit to see what they're putting up with now without any of this stuff going on. The water situations and stuff. And the soft spots we have this spring now, they aren't going away. And now with these rains, I mean, if you got one good road to get to the highway so you can get your grain market or your cattle out, and that pipeline comes along and cuts that road, and that road is impassable for the whole season, what in the hell are you gonna do?
Wait till the seasons. Hope it works.
Well,
So I'm just.
And
I don't, I
And this-
think that's
they
out
would-
of our
that would-
jurisdiction.
That would fall under the wording of commenced. I mean, obviously it's commenced. You know, obviously that seems like a difficult circumstance for that particular person, but I don't.
When this permit application comes, you're going to see a lot of people requesting conditions added to the conditions.
Right, when this particular.
Right,
permit
so I
comes,
mean,
You're right.
at that point, and maybe that's what needs to happen more so than changing the ordinance, but adding a condition saying that this is pertaining to the roads, or this is pertaining to how long you would have until we need at least an update or something like that, you know,
Cause you could add
conditions to it.
conditions and restrictions to any conditional use permit.
Yep.
And you can say, you can tear open a road, but you got a week to close it. In that permit, correct?
Who's gonna enforce it?
Our enforcer.
Well, I think the state's attorney and the sheriff's department is
There's
supposed
ways
to.
to enforce it.
In what time frame?
Well, that would be up to whatever you place in.
Well, it depends on what you put in the permit.
Did you write that in the permit at the time you make the
Well,
permit?
they would come here and we say, this is what we
Right.
have. For us to approve this has to be done in this time frame. And, okay, to me, and if not, there's gotta be something that hurts.
Penalties or?
Right.
Oh, yeah, correct.
You know, if it doesn't, it's gotta hurt, because if it doesn't hurt, what's the matter if they go over the time frame?
Right, you gotta have some teeth in it as far as fine
Right.
or a daily fee if you don't have.
And that to me is something to think about, because that puts the pressure on to get that done, and alleviates, hopefully, it's not down that long, so it becomes passable.
Well, and I think this particular township, the board that I was talking to, is going to request that they have at least one accessible road during the project time. So that you
Well,
can use that one
that
road.
could be, could or should be written also.
And to me, it should be, because if there's medical emergency,
Right.
I mean, it's not only if you gotta haul cattle or grain, if there's a medical emergency, there's gotta be a way to get in, get out, and
It would
all
have
that.
to be
They don't move real fast, it isn't like they're gonna open it. Or
think
I
it would-
would think it would be one at a time. Kind of. I mean, they do a lot of dewatering and stuff, it seems like it takes a little time, just to east of me. I mean, we were impacted by a road, but you could take another route, but they just beat the crap out of all the roads anyway.
I've been down in that area and kind of looked at it, and it looks like a long, slow process.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention that one at this point. I think we can take care of the issues through the conditions, adding conditions.
Everybody's good with leaving it as is and adding alterations to any particular building permit, conditional use permit that comes along, okay?
You can't deny it. There was a telecommunications, I don't remember what it was, this year ago or whatever, that wanted to do some install here, and they were gonna trench everything in, and we told them you will bore on the road, and they did it. So,
Well, I think, for Foster County, I think
we're next.
what the diversion people are, they're training them, I think they're better now than what they were when they started. No?
Foster County had a lot of support for it, because they had Garrison Diversion headquarters, so.
Okay. Right. They did a lot. They're interested. Okay,
Okay, so animal operations specific to permit costs now. If you go up a ways, and I don't know what one it is, right
Oh.
there.
Do we have to be on this, or are we searching for
We're-
something in this?
So this isn't so much searching for anything, but, having taken a class on animal operations, the state of North Dakota, well, we're having that company go through our ordinance to see if it's accurate to what we need for the state requirements for the census codes.
oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so this company is going to use grant money to review what we have. And from the class that I took, I think that what we currently have is sufficient. If there's many changes, they're gonna be minimal. However, animal operations right now is under a conditional use permitted application, which is fine, but the state of North Dakota has said that you may charge no more than $500 for a permit. So somewhere in this, we need to add either in the conditional use fees or in this particular animal feeding operations that a permit for this particular operation is no more than, is $500. Because right now, our fee for a conditional use permit is $500, minimum 500, maximum 2,000, but otherwise it's that 0.1% of the total cost of the project. So right now, we would,
overcharge a big feeding operation.
yes. So maybe in our conditional use part at the very bottom of this, there should be a line item up a little ways yet. There should be a line item here. Application for conditional use permit, feeding operations pertaining to, let me
make any difference what you have here, if it's against the law, you can't do it anyway. So, I'm not 100% sure you have to change it, because if 500 is the maximum, it's also our minimum, so you're paying $500. You can't do anything illegal even if you agree to it, so.
Other than the wording might be good in there. I mean, you don't know that. But the next person comes along and doesn't know that, why did you come up with a maximum fee on just cattle feeding? Isn't that kinda odd?
Because
The thought
the
process
state
is
is
they
pro
wanted,
ag, so.
I think the class that I took, he said that they want to make North Dakota look good, to bring in feeding operations, because it has a lot of other important things when it comes to fertilizer, or natural fertilizer from whatever. So
And if you
it's one-
wanted to, at the end of $2,000 fee, you could say unless stipulated in law, and you're
Yeah.
that would work.
unless otherwise stipulated
Stipulated
in century
by
code or.
state law. Okay, we're all good with that?
You have to bring that to the public meeting if that's changed too, John, right?
You need a motion on that.
Need a motion now?
Yeah, unless, so I have motion to add unless otherwise stipulated by state law or century code.
That was a motion by Dan. Need a second. Second by Boom. Any questions or discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay,
Okay.
regular building permit fees.
Okay, so the reason I bring this up is that when we're talking like residential, oh, you were, you said, I've had some building permits come in for a house recently, and they were going, we don't know how to fill this out. And the way that it's listed here, it's $1 for every $1,000 in value over 20,000. So so if it's $100,000, it would be $25 plus,
Another eight.
yeah. So, most of them are like, well, I don't know how much any of this costs. Whereas I've looked at other counties and they just have a set dollar fee. I think it's like $250 in some places and it's 50 in others, so it would be easier to just put a dollar amount and have it straight across the board.
There's 20 and 25. Plus a thousand.
Plus a
Plus
dollar
a
for
dollar.
every 1,000 in value. Well, is it a value that I would place on it, or is it a value?
It's gonna be an estimate, isn't it? If you don't have a clue.
And nobody has included in the building permit.
Does your banker allow you to be this vague?
Yeah, that seems cumbersome, but it'd be easier just to have.
We can number it,
In
but-
fact, you could have 3 tiers there, you could have from 5,000 to 20, from 20 to 100, from 100 to a million. A million sounds like a lot, but there's a house that costs a million.
Now, I was surprised, you need a building permit to reshingle your house. In Caring.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You're not changing anything, that seems odd.
That's repair.
It was a $40 or a $20 fee or a $40 fine.
$20 fee.
I thought fixing wasn't, but just reshingling.
Unless you add on or anything like that, I can see, but that's just repair.
The permit police came and got it.
I mean,
Your $40?
would it be easy to do this, to say, you know, from, so what if it's under 5,000?
I don't know.
I'm guessing no one comes to ask for a permit.
Okay. Well, can we just say 0 to 100,000, $20, 100,000 to another number, 25, and anything over this is $30 and be done?
What,
That's not high enough.
let's stop and ask ourselves the question, what's $20? Okay, if you're gonna do this, at least make it worth your while for dealing with the paperwork.
Right. Yeah, that's all way too low.
Okay. $20 seems awfully out of date and antiquated. I mean, it was probably $20 50 years ago. And it doesn't have to be $1,000 either. It has to be something that makes it worth your time to deal with the paperwork.
But Warren, I like your idea. Looking up procedures.
So what if you did 100, 152, anything $0 to $100,000 in value would be encompassed, like the part of your policy. You could build that.
0 to 100, you wanna make it the first
I
year?
would say 0 to 100. the
Just
first
put a
year.
deck on the back of my house that's gonna cost $10,000, it's gonna cost me $100. And I'm just making my property better. See, that's why I think that's outrageous, personally.
Okay, well, and I'm just,
You know,
numbers out, so.
yes, a dollar's a dollar, but for me to upgrade my house, I gotta pay $100 to do that, I think that's just stupid. But that's me personally.
Okay.
Cause
No,
yes,
I
I did
should
I
have-
put a deck on my house and I didn't even think anything about it, but I did have to pay my $5 for the building permit back
It's changed.
15, 20 years ago, whenever it was. Cause I just updated my house and didn't think about it. Didn't live in a big city, so I just didn't think about it. But they came and told me, here's your $5. But I think that's silly, personally. I understand it.
You get a building permit generally, mean?
If I'm, for some, I get it if I'm building a house, but like, put a deck on the back of my house, I just think it's silly. I get it, I just think it's silly.
I mean, next door neighbor now cannot see the sunrise as well because you're sitting on that deck and before.
He comes
we didn't
over and
have
has a
deck.
beer every once in a while, enjoys the deck, so.
That's the reason
that's why
behind permits, I mean,
To me, is,
Maybe you need to.
for there's some things that do I think $100 is too much for some things? Yes. Me to pay $5 after the fact that I forgot to get a building permit or didn't think about it, okay, $5 is nothing for me. To me, I'm just improving the property.
Well, I'm not, you know, that thing about shingling or if you're replacing your windows, you're not doing anything new, you're not adding any square
Yeah.
footage yet, have at it. Do the best.
But
for
no one gets
yourself.
a building permit here for that.
But if you've got new construction or something of that nature, something that is adding on, I don't, whether it's you can't see the sunset or affects how the snow blows in your yard or it stops in your driveway.
That sounds silly, but we had wind tower people here talking about that very same thing. That, you know, they're not gonna be able to see the sunset anymore